number 2, we have Ma. Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Stacy. If you're new to the channel, hi. Consider subscribing. If you're not new, welcome back. Today's video, I'm going to be giving you guys my top 5 listen to podcasts. So I hope you guys find this video helpful. If you do, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to comment and share this video with as many people as you can. You can also comment down your listen to podcasts and I'll definitely check them up. You're probably wondering why listen to podcasts, why are podcasts important, or what's the big thing about podcasts. So I started listening to podcasts last year, September. Yeah, and the way I started listening to podcasts, like it was just a normal day. So I started scrolling through my phone and then I saw this purple app. I was like, what is this app for? Because at first I used to think it's like Showmax, where you can rent movies or buy movies. Like I didn't know what it was about. Yeah, so for me it was like a discovery. I was like, wow, I've been having this app in my phone and I didn't know the use of this app. Yeah, so from then I started listening to podcasts. Podcasts have helped me a great deal. Someone who overthinks, it has definitely helped me. I use that time to listen to something informative. And it has also just helped me to spend my time more productively as compared to me overthinking all the time. Another great thing about podcasts is that you can listen to a podcast at any time of the day. You can listen to a podcast in the morning, on your way to school, in the evening. Like you can also substitute the time that you listen to music for a podcast. Like not all the time, just one podcast. It definitely helps. You learn something new. You also see something from another person's perspective. If you take those long family trips to go to the village or to the farm, and then they obviously won't play my type of jams. They won't play amapiano or R&B. They'll play those classic Tonga Odi songs. And like, I can't listen to that the whole way. I cannot. They are nice jams, but yeah. So initially I started listening to podcasts on the podcast app. And then I moved to Spotify and I also found other great podcasts there. I just used to use Spotify for music. I go to Spotify, play my playlist or look for songs, chalila. I didn't know that there were podcasts on that app. Like, come on guys, you guys knew? Some of you didn't know, don't lie. I listen to podcasts every day because every day I want to learn something new or I want to find out something, or I just want to do something that's good for my mental health. So the niche around most of my podcasts are based around self-love, productivity, mental health. Definitely, that one can't miss. I love reading books, right? But I can't read a self-help book and finish it. I have tried reading. I've read one before. I think the title is Think Big. Like I've finished it. I finished like from beginning to end. And then there's this other book, Atomic Habits by James Clear. I saw it on my Pinterest feed. And then I started reading that book, but I've only read like 1 chapter out of 7 chapters. Because I like reading romance novels. Like if you give me a self-care book and a romance novel, I'll finish the romance novel like in less than a week. If I'm not very busy. But I'll finish it quickly. But then the self-help one, like I'm gonna read maybe when I remember or when I'm bored. Instead of me reading a self-help book, I'd rather listen to a podcast about that book. Because like it's faster and I'm gonna know faster, you know. But I need to start really reading these books and not always depending on podcasts. So, but you guys, okay, am I the only one? Because like if you read a romance novel, like you want to know more about what happened to the characters. Did they fall in love? Did they break up? But then when you read a self-care book, like it's just telling you how to do things. Okay, guys, I don't know how to explain it, but if you're someone who reads books, I'm sure you understand what I'm trying to say. Okay, so let's get into my top 5 listen to podcasts. At number 4, we have Crazy Love Podcast. I found this one on Spotify, and I think it's also available on podcast. This podcast is a Christian-based podcast. It simply talks about how to grow a faith in God. The thing I love most about this podcast is that it gives you actual tips to grow more in God. If you feel guilty when you don't read your Bible, or if you don't spend your time with God, it talks about being lukewarm as a Christian. It really talks about a lot of issues that we as Christians need to get familiar with. And then at number 4, we have For You from Eve. This one talks about how to believe in yourself, how to be confident, how to grow emotionally, with loneliness, what to do when you feel depressed, about how to not care about what people think about you. So honestly, it's mostly around self-development. And then at number 3, I have Saved Not Soft. Someone actually recommended this podcast to me. I've listened to all the episodes from this podcast because I really love how it talks about Christianity, as how to have boundaries, trusting God's plan for your life, how to trust in God even when things look down, how to find peace, how to be at peace with yourself. At number 2, we have Mental Health Podcast. Yes, this is for men. This is a mental health podcast for men. The author of this podcast is a male who has struggled with their mental health. So they basically talk about their experiences with mental health and how they dealt with overcoming suicide thoughts, how they dealt with negativity, overthinking. And the reason why I listen to this podcast is because I want to understand guys, like how guys act and why guys do certain. Guys are very different from girls. Guys don't really talk about their mental health, and they don't really talk about what is bothering them. They need to give me more insight on how I can be a better friend and a better sister to my male friends and brothers. And then at number 1, we have the Mindset Mentor. This is actually the first podcast I started listening to about how to become better at communicating. It talks about how to accept failure and move on with your life, about self-awareness, getting to know yourself. I love this podcast a lot because I really resonate to the things that the author talks about. I fail at doing something, or when I don't just do something right, I used to feel very guilty and I used to blame myself a lot.
I never quit for anything in my life. So, ciao.
Podcast has helped me realize that when you fail at doing something in life, it doesn't mean that you're a failure. But when you fail and do it again until you get it right, then you are going to be a better person. That's it in today's video. I hope you guys found this video helpful, and I hope you start listening to podcasts. Let me know what you guys think about listening to podcasts, and let me know about some of the podcasts that you guys listen to in the comment section. I was about to say description box. In the comment section. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I'll see you all in my next video.